Morning all, and thank you, Paul, for those kind words. Yes, this exciting project was only completed on the 31st of January this year. In that very short time, we have taken it to 25 million ounces at 220 grams per tonne to now to be 50 million ounces silver equivalent at 311 grams per tonne. It's a stunning resource in the sense that 25% of that resource is in the indicated category. It's in two lots, if you like. The open pit, which is grading at about 180 grams per tonne, and spectacularly underground, it's running at 800 to 900 grams per tonne. So we're drilling at the moment. This acquisition afforded us the luxury of some 8,000 metres of unchecked an unorientated core, which is really important to understand. So with that, we've been able to increase that resource rapidly. I'll talk later about how we picked up in this acquisition over $150 million worth of infrastructure. This is an operating mine. We've chosen not to turn on that mill that currently sits there because we want to understand that ore body. So all the value is going to be created through the drill bit till we understand that ore body and then right-size that plant. We've got multiple underground mines to support that restart when we decide to do it. Very important to understand that. Infrastructure is completely in place. I have never seen a mine site that has such accessibility. We often talk about infrastructure, and I'll take you through that, but the accessibility to this mine is great. It's only some 10 kilometres from the township of Chile Chico, which is in Patagonia, easy to get to, but the workforce, which is a skilled workforce, drive 15 minutes to site. So it's pretty important. As I say, drilling's commenced, and we have very strong community support, and I'll take you through that as well. The disclaimers, you can read those at your leisure, and they seem to get, as I get older, they seem to get longer. So this is a quality mid-tier silver gold plate. It's important as I take you through this that you understand that there is some spectacular silver grades, but have a look at some of these gold grades that are accompanying this. So we're very lucky to be endowed with such a great mineralisation. So it's a large strategic holding that we have, over 300 square kilometres. We have intercepts at the moment outside the current resource, so outside that 50 million of grades of 24 metres at 500 grams per tonne silver, including 8 metres at 1,600 grams per tonne silver and 26 grams per tonne gold. Also have 3 metres at nearly over 1,400 grams per tonne silver and 12 grams per tonne gold. And the list goes on. This is a heavily mineralised region. We have shallow, high-grade silver in multiple mining fronts. So it's really divided up into 2 jurisdictions. And as I said before, it has infrastructure that ready to go. It's not rusted and old. We've been down the drives. Everything's in great working order. No dewatering required. Very important. So we can get underground pretty quickly. But there's plenty for us to do in the low-hanging fruit category. Just a bit of a corporate overview. So you can see that we sort of got on board myself. It's got a very Bellevue flavour. So when you see Bellevue later on, you'll see a lot of the same sort of people. But as Paul mentioned, it's a very unchallenging market capitalisation. When you think of 50 million ounces of silver equivalent at high grades, over 300 grams per tonne, with that underground capability that I just talked about, you can see that compared to our peers, there's a lot of upside in this particular show. And we're relatively new on the scene. Like, this hasn't been going for years and years and years. This is really, we started, capital raise, bought this, looked at it in August last year. So we're a 6-month-old company, to be perfectly frank. So we've done a very good job in a very short period of time, which will take me to the people that are involved. We got this from Equus. Pat Gowan's there, who's our chairman, very good chairman, I might add. We inherited him from the Mitre mining. My background is in Bellevue Gold, it's in Firefly. and numerous other companies that I've been involved in over the years. Carl Travagliani, he's part of the group as well, so he knows us incredibly well. Tim Lannery, who's our chief geologist, very important here, and he has been responsible for the discovery of this and has done a lot of great work on this. He's not here today because he's doing a lot of work on building up and growing that resource, which we're very excited about. As part of the acquisition, we managed to retain Damien Kerber. Damien Kerber has lived in he's an Aussie, lives on the north coast of New South Wales, but has lived his whole life basically in South America. So you've got that great blend of an Aussie exploration geologist, speaks fluent Spanish, understands the community back to front, and they really do love him. So he's integral going forward. And of course, I've got the great support of that team of Steve and Mike, who I have the luxury of not having to pay very much, but give me great advice going forward, and you know their backgrounds. So where are we? So Chile, we're at the southern part of Chile, so it's a flight to Santiago. It's a 2-hour flight from Santiago to Balmaceda, and then it's a drive from Balmaceda to Chile Chico, which is the local township. So it's very easy to get to. But this whole endowment, this is across Chile and Argentina. This is where we have some of the best and biggest mining companies on the globe that are our neighbours. And they're very comfortable with this region. I'll take you through Chile and some of the issues around that a bit later, but only to show you that we're in a very good neighbourhood with some very sizable mines. Silver itself, I think it used to be considered to be the poor cousin of gold. I'd argue now that it's somewhat decoupled from gold. So in the last 3 months, it's up 18% silver. In the last 6 months, it's up about 30%. It really is in deficit. For those that don't know, in most of it, it's on the critical minerals list now, and it's really important when it comes to solar panelling. So I think I've got there that, you know, for every solar panel, some 12 ounces of silver is used. It's actually used in antibacterials for medical supplies, as opposed to gold, which is used industrially. About 11% of gold produced is used industrially. It's over 30% is used industrially for silver. And it's in deficit, as these graphs show. People are talking $30 silver prices in the near term. We'd be very happy to see that ourselves, currently trading at over $27. When I spoke at the Resources Rising Star conference in Brisbane in January, the price was $22, to give you an idea, and we didn't have a resource. Now we have 50 million ounces of silver equivalent. I keep saying that because it's great. So this is where we are. So think of this project as two distinct districts, the Laguna Verde district and the Cerro Bayo district, and then we have some regional areas that we'll explore, but you know, they're probably 12 to 18 months off. But you can see here that we've got two distinct areas. 91 million ounces of silver equivalent has come, of gold and silver come out of this area over a very short period of time. This was originally started by Core Mining, then bought by Mandalay in 2010. Mandalay had an accident in 2017, lost their social licence, a very sad accident, and Equus bought it. Equus was undercapitalised, and we picked it up, as I say, end of last year, early this year. And you can see there is plenty for us to choose from in this. We're well endowed with areas. So this is where the 50 million ounces comes from, in the Laguna Verde, not in the Cerro Bayo district. And here you can see that all the veins that have been followed up. This is what's been drilled in the past. This is where the resource comes from. At the moment, we're drilling at Pegaso 7 up. I don't know if this has got a pointer, but up to the right-hand side there, you can see Pegaso 7. We're in the third hole as we speak today. We started that last night. That's a 4-hole program at Pegaso 7. We'll move south to Cristal, where we put an announcement out last week. And I'll just jump forward, so just bear with me for a sec. But this is where we discovered some incredible hits. And it was just pointed out to me today. It was interesting. I was talking to another geo today. But just those rock chips and those channels, those spectacular numbers there, 19,000, 20,000 ounces of silver equivalent from rock chips. But more importantly, look at those grades for gold, 200 grams per tonne. Oh, they're really spectacular. This shows you, in these veins where we're going next, what's available. Now, I'm not sure how I go back. Have I stuffed it up? Can I go back? No. Oh, thank you. So there's the Tateo pit. That's the open pit. This is where part of our resource comes from. And you can see right there that the processing mill is 100 metres away from this open pit where we have, which we will be drilling after Cristal. So you can see that everything is really proximal to what we need to do. And it's really exciting areas that we're drilling there. Outside, there's shallow intercepts here, you know, of 2.8 metres at 500 grams per tonne, 2.3 metres at 400 grams per tonne, and the list goes on. You can read that for yourself. But you can see this is all open, along strike and down plunge, along strike to the south. And this is it. So this is the Dahlia vein. That pink area is the resource itself. And you'll see those other little pink dots that are all loaded around there. That shows you that it's over 280 grams per tonne silver in those little dots. You can see it's open, down plunge and along strike. So we're very fortunate at the Dahlia. And Dahlia will come after we've done Cristal. And we probably have to bring a second and third rig in because there's so much low-hanging fruit here. And then the Coyote vein, which I'll show you a bit later where that's actually orientated, but you can see that's open everywhere, and some of the grades we're getting there are 1,000 grams per tonne silver, with high gold content as well, which makes this a very exciting process. And given that we've got a mill, we can turn on any day. But as I say, the important thing to understand about this company is we're going to understand this ore body first. We're going to use the drill rig. So getting to these new discoveries we just talked about before, so this is the Cristal veins, east and west. So that's just where I showed you before. It's just south of where we're currently drilling, and we'll come here and we'll start drilling here, and we'll probably do a 4 or 5 hole program here in what I consider to be very, elephant country type stuff. I'll move on quickly because I'm running out of time, but you can see here. So in the bottom left-hand corner here, that's the photograph of the Pegasus drilling program, which is showing you the veins at surface. So this has been weathered. So we're very fortunate to be able to see these veins typically running at about 5 metre widths, 3 to 5 metre widths. And it does help in our drilling program. This is the Cerro Bayo district. This is only 5 kilometres to the west of where the Laguna Verde is. This has been untapped, underexplored tremendously, and you can see some of the hits that we've got and have had there. And that will be a source of discovery for us in the next 6 months. And then on top of that, we've got a regional. So you can see here the beige area there, that's the Laguna Verde and the Cerro Bayo areas. But to the north and a bit further south is the Cerro Diablo and the Los Domos areas. And you can see there, it's multi-metallic, and that's looking really exciting. But as you can see, we've got enough to go here with our 300 square kilometres of the Cerro Bayo and Laguna Verde for us to go there probably in 12 to 18 months. But this is a real district play. The infrastructure, I talked about that before, 150 million, all working, all in good order. You might be able to see there at the top there's 3 wind turbines producing about 1.8 megawatts of power. We have 6 other 1 megawatt generators, only a year old, and backup generators for another 6 megawatts. The plant itself only needs 5 megawatts, so we've got more than enough power. We've got licence for 800 litres of water per second. So we don't have a water problem. We're right next to that lake, as you can see in that program there. And we're very fortunate to have a very good core shed, but attached to that core shed is our own assay lab. So we can get assay turnarounds in 24 hours. It's up and running now. We're just waiting for our new mechanised core saw. And once that's installed, which is in the next couple of days, we'll be able to have a 24-hour turnaround on our independently verified assay lab. very rare to have that. Very lucky to have that. And you can see for yourself all the other assets that we've picked up along the way there. Just remind you that we only closed in the 31st of January, and we paid $4.5 million for it. Strong local support, so we're very happy to say that the local community is very happy with us. And Chile is a hot mining spot, to be honest, and we don't have any problems with government. They've come to see us. I've been to site 3 times. They come to see me every single time. So my time's up, but please come to the booth and come and see, and I'll take you through this in a lot more detail. Thanks for your time.